even though I rant and rave about how awesome this 2022 Yamaha MT-07 is out here on the streets, I will tell you that not everything is 100% awesome. There are some bad things about this bike, even when it's modded. I'm going to tell you in this video the bad things about the Yamaha MT-07.
Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today.
Gosh, all that bass. It seriously sounds better than a Harley, man. It sounds similar to one, but it sounds better to me than a Harley. No matter what you do, make sure you're wearing the gear to stay safe out here on the streets. And I got some links to some my awesome gear, like these awesome gauntlet gloves, my airbag vest to help keep you safe out there, my favorite helmet ever, my ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet that comes with an automatic tint shield, motovlog camera, Dainese winter jacket, pants, boots, gear. All my gear, I include links in the description and comment section of this video. I've had a lot of bikes. You guys know I've had over, 12 bikes I've had so far. And I ranked this number 2 out of the 12. Number 1 is my Supermoto, of course. The reason why this bike is so awesome is because it's small, lightweight, no frills, doesn't have the electronic crap on it. It's very torquey. From especially when modded, it's even better, man. It sounds so awesome. 0 to 100, the speed you do out here on the street and what you do most of the time, this bike is really awesome at that, man. And it keeps you from doing felony speeds, 150 plus miles an hour, but it's got that punch and torque out here on the streets. It's so awesome, man. But there's some bad things about this bike, man. No motorcycle is perfect. Every bike's got some flaws. But the number one complaint that I hear about this bike, they say that the frame, this has a steel frame, and that it rusts. I've had my 2022 MT-07 for exactly 1 year and 2 months today, and I rode it all last winter in snow with tons of salt here on the Cleveland crappy roads. And as you see here, guys, not a single stitch of rust on the swing arm, the steel frame, the sprocket, or the chain. Look at that, clean, clean, clean everywhere. If you keep your bike clean, you inspect it. If you see a scratch on this steel frame, you want to paint it, touch it up right away, because if you don't, it'll rust. It's a steel frame. After every ride, inspect your bike, keep it clean, and you won't have any issues. Man, just keep the bike clean and you'll be fine. Make sure not to scratch the frame, because if you scratch it down to the frame, scratch the paint off, then it's going to be prone to rust. And you know, the new Hornet that you guys rant and rave about, that's got a steel frame. I'd say another thing that I don't like that's bad about this bike is to get to the air filter is an irritation. You saw my video, my build video, which I have a link to my build series in the top right corner if you want to go see the build series. I put in a K&N air filter and I removed the snorkel. But to get to that air filter, you got to take the seat off. You got to take all this off here that has like 20 screws and bolts. And then you got to prop the tank up with like a screwdriver or something. And then you got to contort your hand with the screwdriver to remove the screws, to remove the air filter. It's a pain in the rear end. It is probably one of the most irritating bikes to replace the air filter in, man. Another thing that's bad about this bike is it eats bolts and tools. When I was taking the bolt off here, these 2 bolts, man, my finger slipped and one of the bolts fell down into the bike, and the bike ate the bolt. And then I dropped my hex wrench, and the bike ate my hex wrench. So it took me 2 hours to find that bolt and remove it, and the hex key. And I had to be like so when you take the fairings off this bike, guys, the pieces here, make sure you treat it like a surgeon, like you're extremely careful, because this bike will eat screws and bolts. Another bad thing about this bike is that it doesn't have a Quickshifter and and a slipper clutch. But honestly, for me personally, I don't care about that stuff, because I just bought this bike basically to be my sport bike slash cruiser bike for the street riding out here, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't buy this bike to be but you know, cranking gears up and down real quick and trying to race or anything, man. It's really unnecessary, you know what I'm saying? But the new 2023 model, they do have it pre-wired to add a quick shifter. So, but I don't know why they just didn't add it on the bike, man. That's crazy. But you can buy an official Yamaha Quickshifter to put on the bike. It's pre-wired, ready to go for the 2023. So, but you can still add a Quickshifter on here if you want to, man. To me, it's not necessary for just city urban riding like I do on this bike. Another bad thing is that you can't adjust the front fork, which I mentioned in previous videos. But the suspension is adequate for a lightweight like me at 170 pounds, and it's perfect for the streets. It soaks up bumps, it's fine. But for those of you big dudes out there, you may have to upgrade the front fork. I don't know. The rear shock is adjustable with preload and rebound, unlike the SXR 700, which it is not. You can't adjust the rebound on it, and that bike costs like $900 more than this bike. But anyways, another bad thing about this bike, the display is so wide that it takes up space from the bar where you can't put any accessories. You know, I had to actually get a GoPro Hero mount that goes on the mirror stem when I remove the mirror. And it works awesome, which, by the way, I have a link to this GoPro Hero mount, which is awesome, and my bar end mirrors, and this awesome fast charging phone holder in the description and comment section of this video if you want to get it. And by the way, this phone holder is actually powering this GoPro Hero. I have the battery out of this camera, and it is powering this the bike is powering this camera. And that's another thing that's kind of cool with this bike, is it does have an accessory 12-volt plug underneath the fairing that I did a video on that. If you want to go see, I'll include a link to the video in the top right corner. Now, some of you guys say, Cycle Cruise, you should get a wider bar. In my opinion, the stock bar is fine, man. It's unnecessary to get a wider bar, because this bike, the 2022, I think in 2021, they actually made the bar wider than the previous generation MT-07s and the FZ-07s. So I don't know if you know that or not. It does have a wider bar on the 2022, and it's fine. It's just a big wide display. But the 2023 model has the smaller display with TFT. They upgraded to a more awesome display. The same bike, they just put a new display, and it's pre-wired for a quick shifter. So that's the cool thing about the new 2023. Right here, see this, guys? Make sure they see you. I love that sound. It is so sick, guys. We out here in the hood in Cleveland, baby. But anyways, another bad thing, you never want to stop riding it. I tell you, man, I ride this thing all day and I hate to put it away. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to put it away. I love riding this bike. It's so fun and smooth, torquey, lightweight. You throw it around, it just feels good, man. Which I did a video, by the way, comparing the MT-09 versus the MT-07. I'll include a link in the top right corner you can click on if you want to go check that out. Another thing they say is bad about this bike, which I don't think so, is they say the throttle tube on this bike, it takes too much to crank it all the way full throttle, wide open throttle. That you should add, a lot of guys are putting the R6 throttle tube on here in order to, which it has less of a pull on a crank on the throttle. And honestly, I don't see the big deal about this you know, stock throttle tube. It's fine to me, man. You know, I'm not going to go out of my way to upgrade to an R6 throttle tube for a shorter throw. I think that's silly myself, man. But hey, whatever floats your boat, guys, whatever works for you, man. But honestly, you don't need to do it, at least in my perspective. I say another bad thing about this bike is that I can't think of anything else. Honestly, for the price, that, like I said, this is one of the best bangs for your buck out here. And this is such a really fun bike. Just listen to that sound. I'm telling you, this is an awesome hood cruiser right here, man. This is good on the back roads. It's good out here on the street. It's good everywhere, man. It's good at the track. You can turn it into an ADV bike if you want to. There's been some motor vlogs that did that. It's just a versatile bike and awesome, man. It sounds so sick. But anyways, guys, hit thumbs up, man. Helps my channel when you do, man. Hit the subscribe button. Also hit that little bell symbol so you get notified when my new videos are released. But I release new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and check out my other channel, Bug Out Moto, where I customize a van for my motorcycle so I can live in my van with my motorcycle and travel across the country anywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bug Out Moto.